Growing up, everyone in our small town knew the superstition. Never follow the Jester. It was one of those sayings adults chuckled about over beers, a remnant of a bizarre local legend. To a kid, it sounded like a joke. I never thought it could be real. Not until the day I turned 8. It was my birthday, and my parents decided to take me to a nearby theme park, a special treat. The place was packed with screaming kids and flashing lights. My parents stayed close, watching me like hawks. But eventually, I begged them to let me play one of those carnival games. They relented, keeping me within sight. That's when he came. Phoebe. He didn't seem threatening at first. Just a jester with colorful, mismatched clothes, spinning a colorful ball on his finger. His movements were almost hypnotic. His voice unnaturally cheerful. "Hey there, kiddo," he chirped. "Do you like parties? Birthday cakes?" "Yeah," I grinned, completely unaware of the danger. And then, everything changed. Before I could blink, Phoebe grabbed me. His grip was cold and inhumanly strong. My parents' faces changed into sheer terror as they looked for me, screaming my name, but Phoebe was too fast. He dragged me through the crowd, his laughter echoing in my ears. No one else seemed to notice or care. He brought me to a small, dimly lit room. I froze when I saw the other children. They weren't just dead, they were destroyed. Torn apart like rag dolls, their faces peeled off, bodies riddled with bite marks and scratches. The air was thick with the stench of blood and decay. Phoebe pushed me into a chair and placed a birthday cake in front of me. He started singing, his voice soft but dripping with malice. "Happy birthday to you." The cake wasn't a cake at all. It was a grotesque mound of flesh and organs, arranged to look festive. Blood dripped down the sides like melted icing. I could see a tooth embedded in the frosting. My stomach churned, and my limbs felt heavy. That's when I realized he'd laced the air with some kind of drug. My eyelids began to droop. "No," I whispered, forcing myself to stay awake. Phoebe's wide, featureless grin grew wider, his head tilting unnaturally as if he knew I was struggling. In a burst of adrenaline, I bolted. I didn't care where I was going, I just ran. Phoebe screeched, his laughter turning into an ear-piercing wail as he chased me. His speed was impossible. One second he was behind me, the next he was beside me, his outstretched fingers brushing against my arm. It was night when I finally stumbled out of the theme park. My legs were shaking, my chest heaving, but I kept running. The streets were empty, eerily quiet. As I passed houses, I saw them. People standing in their windows, watching me with wide, sinister grins, every single one of them. When I reached home, I collapsed into my parents' arms. They were frantic, asking me where I'd been, what had happened. Through tears, I told them about Phoebe, the children, the cake. They hugged me tightly, but exchanged worried glances. "It's just your imagination," my dad said, trying to reassure me. But as I looked out the window, I saw him. Phoebe, standing in the shadows, his head tilting slightly. He raised a hand and waved. The next morning, the news was everywhere. A mass murder at the theme park. 382 people dead. Their bodies mutilated beyond recognition. The park was immediately shut down, condemned. But none of that mattered to me. Because I know Phoebe is still out there, waiting for me, watching. Sometimes late at night, I hear his voice. Do you like parties? I don't know if I'll ever escape him. Maybe no one can. Thanks so much for making it to the end of this video. A quick shout out to my patrons: Seven Cities Journalist, Mr. Sankofa, Austin My Love, Rinku Star, William Hartley, Cupcake Kips, Alonzo, IC Narrates, and Jesse Hartley. And guys, every month I put in the description a different cause or organization or charity to give money to donate. Me, myself, I'm devoutly Christian, so these are the places that I tend to include in my tithing for the month. And if you so feel led to give back to someone in need who really needs that operation for that super rare disease, or to relieve a family of their grief and their loss, or even just general natural disaster funds, it would be so wonderful if you guys could check out the links in my description, or even just go off and find another cause that you would like to donate to. I highly encourage it. Even if you can only give $1, it is so good to help people in their time of need. And I love the idea of paying it forward. And hey, if you're one of my patrons and you're giving to me monthly and you don't have enough funds to do both, to support me and to support someone else in need, I also highly encourage not being my patron, even if you do want to eventually in the future, and giving to that other person. I would really appreciate that, guys. Let's make this a world that loves and cares about each other. And aside from that, thank you guys again for watching and also for your continued support. Let me know how I can be praying for you. You can leave a comment. You could find my Instagram and send me a message. You can message me in my Discord server, and I'd love to do that for you guys. Thank you again so much. God bless, and I'll see you in the next video.